Welcome back. We have Brody White joining us from Chop and Block on this Friday afternoon. Welcome back to the show, Brody.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes, today we are going to learn about brining, and we had a quick talk before we got on the air talking about the fact that brining is sort of a fancy word for salt. You're adding salt to it.
Yeah, it's a salt cure.
A salt cure.
Salt cure. So different than pickling. Pickling, when you do your cucumbers, that's all vinegar cure. There's salt involved, but it's vinegar based. Brining is salt based.
Okay, so this is quite a tub, and what is in it?
Well, this is just convenient for us because we do large quantities, but you could use just a bucket, like a ice cream bucket at home or something. But yeah, so this is a 20-liter pail. It's way overkill, but we're gonna put the brisket in it, so you're gonna see it grow a little bit too.
How long do you need to leave it in here?
It depends on not so much poundage of meat, it's the width of the meat. So our brisket here is really only 2 inches thick at its biggest point. So that's your biggest indicator, and I would say at least 3 days per inch. 3
days per inch. This is a serious commitment. You're not.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not brining it and having it for dinner that night.
No, you're
right?
not.
Okay.
No.
Good to know.
There's ways that we can speed up the process with like equipment, like some things we have at the store.
Right.
We have a brine pump that's about 100 times that size.
Look at this. This is like, it looks like a massive needle for a farm animal or something.
And then we have like tumbling equipment that basically massages meat, so the brining process happens faster, but we're gonna do it as we would do it at home today.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Tell me what you want me to do here.
So first we're gonna make our brine. This is cold water. We're using cold water because we're gonna pump it into the meat right away. We don't wanna use warm water for that.
Okay.
Now you can do it two ways. We're gonna add our salt and sugar to the cold water, and then we're gonna mix it up really well.
Which is more, salt or the sugar?
It's about 2 to 1 salt to sugar. Okay. It seems like a lot that I just put in there. That's a lot of brine.
Yeah.
You probably don't need this much at home. An easy way to do it at home is to grab a big like a plastic bag, and then you could probably get away with 1/3 of this much brine.
Right.
And then put your meat in the bag, put the bag in a bucket. And it's just a little bit more efficient. But we're gonna take this back to the store. It's gonna get used, so I'm not being frugal here.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's 2 ways to do it. You can either bring this up to a boil, put your spices in it, and then wait till the next day when it's nice and cold to use it. But we're gonna speed up the process here. We're just gonna use our handy dandy hand blender. And give it a very good mix.
How long does it take? Like, how do you know when it's mixed up? 2 minutes?
As soon as you can't see the salt and sugar anymore. But we are gonna kind of expedite the process a little bit. So you get the idea. You wanna make sure that that's really nice and emulsified. And then we're gonna put our spices in.
Okay, and what's in there?
So we've got mustard seed, juniper berries, bay leaf, peppercorn, and coriander.
Yum.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Now, the advantage to doing this the day before and boiling it is you get a little bit better infusion, okay? But we're doing this kind of in TV time here. So
yeah, TV time is a different time.
You have to remember also that this is going to sit in the brine for, what did we say, 6 days for this brisket? So here's our brine. So we're just going to kind of get it primed up here. I'll let you do this part.
Okay. I am going to inject this.
Okay, you just want to kind of push it into the meat and then slowly pump it in. You don't want to go too fast or it'll get everywhere. So let you kind of go along the meat there.
So, and then suck it out?
No, it's all
ready
that.
To go?
It's automatic.
Okay.
So you just pull back. Yeah, pull back.
And then push it. There we go.
There you go.
How much of it?
So how much is, it's supposed to be 10% of the weight of the product. So you're adding an additional 10%. So if this was what looks like 2 kilos, 10% of 2 kilos is 200 grams. That's 200 grams in the product and not all over the studio. So
it just flew all over the counter and over the side. Okay,
Good thing you didn't get the camera. There you go.
That would have been better.
There, you can see the meat start to kind of swell up when it does.
Okay, so then maybe don't leave it in the same spot.
Should have given you gloves, I guess.
Whatever, it's good. That one's going in. Oh, see, interesting how it sort of finds its way, right?
It does, yeah. It goes through all the grains of meat and in between the muscles. There you go.
And so per inch, 3 days. So
3 days, so 6.
This is going to be a 6-day affair.
6-day affair, okay. And if you don't have the injector, you can probably double that and just leave it in the brine. So that would be 12 days in the brine if you're not injecting it. Okay.
So what do you think? Have we done enough? Or
yeah, I think that's probably good. That being said, there's little cheap kind of injector syringes, you know, at a lot of the big box stores that sell any kind of game processing equipment.
You're laughing. You're laughing at this, right? You're like a dry Susan.
On the inside.
The truth is on the inside. Hey, that's all right. But you can see that the little dots in here. I don't think I'm submerging it enough, right? But I'm going to let you finish that up.
We get the idea.
Yeah, you get the idea. This is interesting. I've never seen this done before. Most people probably haven't, right? But quick break right now. We are going to come back, and now it's working. You do see the meat expand. That's super cool. Yeah. The meat actually expands as it goes in. We're going to take a quick break here. Brody's going to continue to brine the beef, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are in the kitchen with Brody White from Chop and Block, and we are making corned beef today, learning how to brine beef, and I'm going to let you explain the next step in this.
Yeah, so after we brined it for our 6 days, which we were talking about, it went really quick, but...
that was fast 6 days.
Here we are.
Yes.
So we took it out of the brine. We gave it a little rinse because that brine is salty.
Yeah.
So you want to give it a little rinse, pat it dry, and then you're going to drop it into a pot of cold beef broth or chicken broth, not water, okay? And then you're going to put some veggies in there. So we've got our turnips, our leeks, our carrots, and then this is called a bouquet garni, which is basically just like a bunch of herbs, some leek stems that we tie up, and we put it in there just to infuse that flavor.
Okay, and how long do you leave it in there to get that going?
So again, we're not boiling meat. Back to our rib segment.
Yeah.
Not boiling meat. So that's going to take about 3.5 to 4 hours to just kind of barely move and simmer away.
Okay.
Until you can take a knife or a fork, stick it in the meat, and there's no resistance, and pull it right out.
Nice.
Okay. You don't want it so much that it's falling apart. It's not a pulled meat.
Right.
You're going to want to slice it, which we're going to do.
Okay.
But you want to just cook it so you can slice it and serve it. You know, great accompaniments are mashed potatoes and cabbage, so braised cabbage. All the veggies that you put in here, so leeks, turnips, carrots. That's what we've done here. We've also got a few baby potatoes. So I'll just start dishing this up, I guess.
So you can absolutely eat what was used to make
Absolutely. This is a one-pot meal for sure. And it also works. I was thinking about it, and you know, bust out the slow cooker again. We're back to school, we're back to work. It's a busy time for everybody. So you know, put it on in the morning, low heat, 8 hours. Come back from work, and you're pretty much ready to go.
Which is great. Everybody likes to come home to a house smelling like a delicious dinner.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got mushrooms in here too, just because I like mushrooms. It's not really a traditional corned beef garnish, but we used it. Okay, and I just tossed in a little bit of parsley to give it some color. Now you got to remember you've brined the corned beef, so I'm not really seasoning these veggies after it comes out, because it's the beef itself that's going to season this broth.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm just going to take our corned beef, which I've taken out of the mix, and slice it up.
So it slices really nicely. If you overcook this, would it sort of turn into that pulled pork feel?
Exactly.
Like
yeah, it would just be shredded, and you want something in between a roast and that pulled meat.
Look at that presentation, Brody White. You got it going on with the presentation.
And then we're just going to take a little bit of this broth.
Put it over the top.
Moisten it up a little bit.
Mouths are watering right now. That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So people can do this at home if they want to, but I'm pretty sure if they came into Chop and Block, they'd find it ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we sell corned beef in 3 different forms. We sell just straight briskets. You know, ask us to trim it up a little bit. It's not like you're smoking a brisket where you want all that fat, because it's dry heat and it's all going to render and go away. You're simmering it, so you're gonna see that fat kind of stick around.
Right.
So you want us to trim it up a little bit more than you would. And then we sell it just like this, which has already been brined, and just kind of, you know, 2-3 pound portions for the family. Yep. And then we also sell corned beef that's been cooked, and we can just slice it for you right out of our deli.
That's awesome. So you can get it in any form, whatever you feel like doing for, less work or more work at home. You guys offer it all. So thank you for this lesson today.
Yeah,
I've never done this sort of thing before. I love corned beef, but now I understand a little bit better how it all works. So
cool.
yeah, thanks for being here. Information on the screen if you would like to check it out online. Stop by in the Canadian Tire Complex as well. Phone number 828-8616. We're back in just a quick few minutes. Stay with us.